It spans the globe like a superhighway. It is called internet.
I do. Yes, every human being cleans up after they. Yes, Mark. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. This is probably the best podcast.
Look at this! Look at this shit!
Why I would love to fuck my sister on a Saturday morning.
What's the line between suicidal and just not really caring if you die? I'm gonna go
I'm not
ahead
saying-
and
I just
make
didn't- I
a
just don't think-
note to bleep that
I just didn't
out.
think that was. Oh, I want to punch! I want to punch! I want to fucking punch! Do I shoot those guys?
Hey guys, welcome back to Internet Down. It's been a little while, but we're back. We're here, and we're ready to start recording. Yay! Woo! Clap, 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 clap. I have my usual suspects with me today. I got Mark and Johnny. You guys want to introduce yourselves? You know I already
You
did.
didn't say your name, fucker.
Oh,
And
everybody knows
I'm
my
Mark.
name. I'm Matt. Welcome to Internet Down. I'm so glad to be back.
I'm
missed this.
Johnny.
I missed you guys. Feels like COVID all over again.
Can I just steal right
the best
immediately
time
and
of
talk
my
about
entire
Baldur's
life.
Gate for a little bit?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Yes, that's fine. You can
I
talk
have
about
put
Baldur's Gate, but
50
I wanna-
fucking hours into that game.
I want to give the audience a little quick and reason why we were gone for so long. Welcome to season 3. Don't make that face. Oh my god, that was just uncomfortable for me. Welcome back to season
You're the
3.
fucking nerd.
I moved and then moved again.
He moved closer to my location, and then we had various renter problems.
5 minutes down the road.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I've met this man in person many times, and then various renter problems and other things came up, and then he moved away again.
Yeah, I'm back down in Florida. I'm a
Fucking,
Florida man.
fucking
True
Ron
and
DeSantis country.
born. Oh, don't even. It was not. It's not a political
You don't-
podcast.
Oh, because I've never brought up my political affiliations
Oh
on the
yeah,
show.
that's
Yeah, let's
never
not-
happened.
never
before.
happened.
Yeah,
Jesus
absolutely
Christ.
not once, totally. But yeah, I'm back here, and all right, Johnny, go ahead and rant
tell
for an
him-
hour.
Oh, okay. So Baldur's Gate is awesome, and everyone should play it. It's the best Dungeon and Dragons campaign I've played in a bit. It's just great. The characters are awesome. All of the branching trees are amazing. My experience is completely different than every other human beings who has played it, and all of theirs is different from each other's. Like, it is such like a wide, insanely branching path game that I'm just in love with it, and I will probably play it 3 more times. I've put 50 hours in it, and I'm barely into Act 3. So that's
I'm streaming staying with my brother, so I'm gonna play it soon.
you
I'm very
should.
excited for it.
I am playing a halfling paladin with a multi-class and sorcerer, and it's been fantastic. Even though so it's interesting because I picked sorcerer, but sorcerer is like legit one of my least favorite classes in D&D in 5e. So I get to play it now, and I forget who described it like this, but they're essentially drunk wizards, and it's kind of it meshes well with the paladin. I feel like, although I did kind of want to go druid at the same time. Matt, why are you holding up your Zelda necklace?
I was gonna say I'm gonna preface what I'm about to say. They said I'm a huge Zelda fan. Community, do not hate me. Do not get at me for saying this. I'm a huge Zelda fan. I love it to death. I think Baldur's Gate might win Game of the Year. I know Tears of Kingdom came out this year.
I have heard
Which-
mixed opinions on Tears.
I enjoy it. It's Breath of the Wild, but they added sky and they actually added like a dungeon basement area, which is really dope. That it is for a lot of people they're upset because it's not different enough. It's basically Breath of the Wild, but they removed some Breath of the Wild mechanics and added new ones to it. I think it's innovative enough to definitely stand on its own. I think it's an amazing game. I think it's a 9 out of 10 game, but I feel like from what I've seen, not played personally because I'm about to play it, but I have not played it yet. From what I've seen and heard from multiple sources, in person, online, mainly in person, that Baldur's Gate is a 10 out of 10.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's fucking perfect. And
So,
but
like,
to clear, I want to say this because I know people are gonna ask. I was originally trying to romance Karlach. I ended up with Shadowheart. That's just the way the
oh,
game went when I was
that's
playing.
that's the goth girl, right?
I mean, she's a worshiper of the Shar.
She got black hair.
I
My
don't
friend
wanna
had the
spoil the
same
game.
experience. My friend had a very similar. She said that she like she was like doing something, and then like the blonde goth girl was like, "Yeah, we're dating," and she's like, "I didn't do anything. I don't know how this
Listen,
happened."
I've accidentally romanced. I play with a very high charisma score because of the classes I play. I've accidentally romanced most of the or the NPC followers and stuff, like the
That's
party
amazing.
character. I have
That's
to
amazing.
actively turn them down because,
What do the
like,
kids say? Accidental riz, right?
oh,
Is that a
yeah,
thing?
I mean, it's really hard. I mean, I heard people complaining that they were
Matt,
too
you're
easy.
27. What do you mean? What do the kids say? What do you mean?
You know, whatever the kids say.
No, it's
Yeah, that.
I very much fall into like a character when I play these games. Like I create, and same thing with D&D is I create a character. It's not me. I purposely build like that Bond's ideal flaws typed character so that I don't make it like an insert character. I make something different for myself. That's why I'm like playing a little short dude who's like,
That is such an actor response to anything I've ever
It
heard
really
before.
is.
I mean,
I create a character. That's not me.
I just play a character. It's not.
He
It's,
is not Johnny. Instead, he is Flagme from Flaggerson, the great.
his name is
Dutch
Billmore
of
Babblestone.
Welshunshun.
Thank you.
I just play a character. It's acting, really. Truly, it's acting.
It's all a role. I become him. I become this character.
Well, I do the same
not
thing with
me
like
and
we'll talk
myself.
more.
I become this character.
I'll talk. Well, I'm sure we'll talk about this more, but that goes back to me playing Bethesda RPGs. Like legit, like I would make these characters because I wanted to experience the story from their eyes. Like I don't want to escape. It's my escapism, you know.
Well,
Like,
also,
that's what I
my
want from
camera's
these
on. Sorry,
games.
guys. I'm interrupting you like a dick.
No, you're fine. I'm talking like a maniac.
Sorry, I interrupt you like a.
But if I had to say for game of the year, yeah, it's my pick. Like for real. Like
No,
Bro. Armored Core 6 is my pick. Armored
I
there's like
genuinely think-
genuinely nothing wrong with Armored Core 6. And it's not even the fact that it's like a perfect game, which it is.
I forgot. They
It's
made
the
another
fact
one.
it's the fact that it brought eyes to so many other franchise, like to a franchise that virtually nobody knew even existed. Like it now you have like a plethora of games that you can go back and play with this new game that From Software made. And
So,
also it doesn't have the back of like the company is a piece of shit, because From Software is godly and they do nothing wrong.
yeah, I haven't heard of it.
Say
All
something.
right.
What are you looking at me like that for? Say
I
something From
haven't-
Software has
I-
done wrong. Say something From Software has done wrong. Tell me.
Nothing. They're
Fair,
fine.
fair,
They're
fair,
cool.
they're fair.
As far as
wanna
I know,
say,
I'm not gonna pass out my endorsements like hand jobs. Okay, like fucking.
I am.
Oh,
I
wow.
am. And I'll put my mouth on it too.
I heard that I heard about Armor 6 coming back out, and I'm like, oh man, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Yeah, like for people who don't know, Armor 6 is like the OG, more so than COD. The Armor series is like the OG military shooter. You know, they go back for a long minute. I feel they're
Yeah,
older than COD, right? They're definitely
I
older than
think
Call
so.
of Duty.
Depends
Yeah.
on whenever the first one came out. This one the first Armored Core game came out in '97. So I don't know.
Call of
when, I
Duty
don't
came
know.
out in 2003.
Yeah.
No, wait, no. Call of Duty was the early
The very
Xbox.
first one.
Yeah.
I'm
In
curious.
2000 I want to see 2006.
I'm curious
I don't
to
think it's definitely.
see what Game Awards look like this year. Cause
I
like
know Zelda is definitely gonna be on there. I don't think because how good Baldur's Gate is, I don't know if
know if it's
Zelda is
gonna
gonna
win.
get it,
Yeah.
which will be the first year ever that Zelda has not won Game of the Year when it released.
I mean, it's fucking like I have not seen like hype like this since like God of War 2014 came out. Like that's like the
Oh my god,
level.
yeah, it's like the amount of like people that I
A
know
game.
personally that play this game that are gamers but not like huge gamers.
Mhm.
I'm like, holy shit, is this game really like that good?
Yeah.
And the amount of people that come up to me and like want to talk about it, and I'm like, holy shit! And like I have one friend that spent like 500 hours on her already. Like that's all she does is play Baldur's Gate. Like I can't fathom that.
It's addicting, dude. Like there's so much and it's so replayable. Like I can already tell that I'm going to play this game for
Multiple times.
multiple times,
Yeah.
multiple different paths, talking to different
Yeah.
NPCs. There's apparently followers that I've just missed. Like that are able to join your party but I've never seen. So like
The one. Sorry, go ahead.
so there's a whole new things I can and go back and do and have completely new characters in my party. I've mainly stick to Karlach, Shadowheart, and Will, as along with my paladin as my main party, and that's been fine. I will say this: the game is hard. The game is difficult,
I was gonna say,
and you
I heard it's
not
hard.
you should not feel ashamed for playing on the lower difficulty and just enjoying the story
No,
of the
you
game.
should feel ashamed. Stop being a pussy.
No, like
I heard the saving mechanic is not good on that game.
Okay.
I heard it's like a lot of manual saves.
it is a lot of manual saves, and you do kind of have to be a little save scummy at times if you want to get reasonable outcomes. You do kind of have to load some old saves and stuff sometimes, and that's very non D&D of being like play the game where it lies and stuff. But I think the way this game is played and the consequences that doing anything in the game has, I think it's fine. You do have to rig it a little bit.
I feel like it. Yeah, I feel like it'd be better if it was like this. Oh, this is such a controversial opinion. I feel like it would be even more immersive like that, where it's like you
was
do
no saves.
something, and it just saves when you quit the game. That's the only time I ever
Yeah, I
saves.
fuck with that. Yeah, I'm all about that.
I feel like that would be
I will probably
amazing.
do a
If you're
run.
going for a D&D experience,
If you're going for a D&D experience, like you just save it when you quit the game, and that's where it
I
saves.
will probably do that on my next run. I'm not doing it for my first run.
So
Pussy.
you can't go back even if you lose like you lose characters. Well, that character's dead.
Yeah,
Like,
I've seen
that's-
people try to do no death runs. Absolutely not. It sounds awful because
That's the
well, here's the thing: you can have party
Is
you
members
know where you
die,
don't have issues like that?
and
Is there
you can
permanent- Death in
Armored
this
Core
game?
6.
you can resurrect your party members if they die.
what I'm saying is there permadeath where like they're dead? They're like besides resurrecting them, right? When they die,
Yeah, if they die and you don't go
they're-
talk to
they-
Withers
they're
and
gone.
like pay a bunch of gold to get them back, then they're just dead.
Okay, I like that. That's one of my favorite features about the Fire
But
Emblem
you
series. So I
miss
like that in
Out
games.
on so much character interaction if you do that. So I don't think it's good for your first run.
Yeah, but that's
I'm not gonna
immersive.
kill characters.
No, they're gonna
the whole
die.
point.
Like straight up,
Yeah,
I've
that's the whole
had
point.
so
Just
many
suck it up.
fucking party
D&D
wipes.
experience.
I've
For
had
me,
so
for
many
me,
party
if
wipes.
that happened to me, I'll just be like, oh well, that sucks.
Yeah, exactly. But
like
that, again,
that's the game.
Expands
Like, you know what I
on the
mean?
D&D experience. If you go the route where it's like they're dead, they're just dead.
But it's not.
Also,
Here's the reason
the
I'll
fact that it's multiplayer
I can
is
see that.
huge to me.
Yeah, it's great. I haven't tried the multiplayer yet. I've been too stuck into the single player. I will say that's probably doing a permadeath run like that. I do think is valid. I probably will do it with resurrections and stuff and scroll of revivify
You know what it
and
sounds
everything.
like to me, Johnny?
But
You're a fake D&D fan.
motherfucker, I
Ooh,
will fight you.
I mean, you're the one not trying to get a D&D experience out of your D&D video game. So
Mark, look at my screen.
Fight. Yes.
Look at
yeah,
this.
so you're a fake fan.
You see this?
You're a fake fan.
You see all these? You know how much
These things don't change the fact that you're a fake fan.
I
don't know
am
what
the
to tell you.
perma DM. I will always be. It's my curse.
You really only ever DM?
No one else wants to DM.
I
again.
thought
it's so much work.
Hang on, I'm gonna throw you under the bus right now.
If you say you want to DM,
I
I'm gonna
thought
lose my shit.
when you're like, we're gonna reset the session, you're like, I don't want to DM this next session. I'm not DMing this next session. So Johnny, are you DMing this next session?
Yes.
So yeah, that was all bullshit.
Well, here's the thing. I have the resin 3D printer now. And I get to make all these cool minis and stuff. And I love them. And they're so awesome. I've got a whole batch of goblins printing right this second.
We'll talk more off screen about it. I don't want to flame you on the podcast.
No, flame
but
me,
I
flame
do-
Oh
me.
no, I'm gonna flame you.
Flame me.
You're a little baby, and
So
you're
I
always
have
like, oh, I don't want to
questions.
DM anymore. I don't want to DM anymore.
No, it's not
And
that I
then
don't
now
want
look
to
at you.
DM. I just don't want to. There's certain responsibilities when you do a DM that just suck. And part of that is
being in charge of everything.
it does.
Being the one that schedules everything.
Well, that was the thing is we had to take the scheduling duties off me because it just couldn't happen that way.
Yeah,
it's
You just couldn't. You just didn't want to.
Hang on.
He
hang on, no.
literally asked
No,
you.
Wait, hang on. In Johnny's defense, Mark, you don't understand this D&D group. We're not playing the blame this person because we're on air, we're on internet. There's a certain person.
It's I'll say it.
Wow,
He's
all right,
been on
throw
my
all that
podcast.
shit out the fucking window.
It's
I
recorded. We're not
know.
live.
Oh, we can edit it. That's true.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Mark, can you go back in the edit to where I look like an idiot
No.
and then put a giant idiot sign there? Thank you.
Oh yeah. Like, I was like, we can.
No,
Just
it's not
edit it.
just
Like,
him.
it's not-
It's not just that he's difficult to get a hold. I am also difficult to get a hold of. And it's not gonna get I'm about to
That was
leave.
my point.
Yeah.
I don't know Nico like that. I just know that there was that one time we were in a VC, and then Afro literally was like, "When are you free?" To this day, and then he was like, "Okay, then we'll do it this day." And then guess when it happened? That day. It took like 2 seconds.
Okay. That's why he's in charge of doing that stuff.
Yeah,
It's not-
Curtis is really good with
but that's
that.
not-
Curtis is like,
It's
hey,
not that
what
it's
day
not
are you
good with
free?
it.
We're like,
All he did was, "Are you free this day?" And then you were like, "Yes." And then you did it that
And then it
day.
happened.
That's not that hard.
Mark, I'm going to send you my calendars. I am about to leave on tour for a month and a half.
You're
Tour for
bringing your
what?
equipment with you, right? Hang on.
Huh?
You're bringing your equipment with you, right?
No, they
Because we
provide.
just started the podcast again. We're not
Oh,
doing another
I can
month. We're off.
probably. Here's the thing: we can probably either do it on the
figure
weekends
it
when
out.
I'm here, and we can
Oh
batch,
no, he's
batch
stupid.
'em, or I can do it from a hotel room. So we'll figure something out.
Well, it's a recorded podcast. We can pre-record podcast. We can literally spend, Mark, you're going to hate this, but we can
I'm not
literally
doing
spend
that.
one day
And
where
do
we
a
just
month
record
worth
for
of
like 8 hours
podcast.
straight.
I'm not doing that.
I'd rather have a spider on my face.
Come on, we got this. That's 8 podcasts in one day.
I'm not doing
That's a
that.
work day. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that either. I'm an hour out of my day is already a lot.
Oh, to answer your question, yeah, I'll probably bring the Rhodes, like the one I'm using now. So like
Okay.
I'll have something. I might not have a camera, but I'll have some kind of audio.
It's fine.
that
We can do
take off of.
video. We can do audio. It's fine. But as long as we can, because what I don't want happening is, oh god, we're saying this on a podcast. Let's just talk about it later. Remember
That's what
remember
the
the
show
one
is, it's just us
feedback.
talking
Remember
for
the
two-
one
like,
feedback we got.
Isn't the thing that we just like discussed is that it could be edited out if you.
I know
didn't
that's
wanna
true.
do
That's fair. That's fair. You're also true. But literally, the one complaint I got about the podcast is that we talk about the podcast. We talk about the recording part of the podcast too much, which should
That's
be
not the only thing.
Fine,
we
let's go
got.
back about Dungeons and Dragons for a bit. I'm fine with it. I picked up.
No, I want to talk about One Piece. Mark, have you watched the live action?
I didn't finish it, but I did. I didn't see like the last episode.
Okay, what do you think of it? Generally,
Oh, it's fucking great. It's fucking fantastic.
it's amazing.
It's like the best. It's the best adaptation I can think of. Honestly, the only negative thing I can think of is that it's too
cartoony.
good. Like it's too much like the anime in the sense that
Yeah.
because it's live action, you lose like a lot of things. Like, but I mean that's like not really a negative. That's more of just like that's just like a good thing.
It feels too cartoony. I would say
Have you seen One Piece?
Yeah, I've read all of it, and I've watched most of it.
If
I'm
it feels
actually
to you, then you don't know what. If you think it's the cartoony
no,
is like
that's
the
not what I mean.
thing.
That's not what I mean. What I'm trying to say. Let me explain. What I'm trying to say. Like people like Argon. He looks weird.
That's the point.
That's the
He's
point.
he's a person that
that's
looks
the
like a
point.
fish.
I know that's the point.
That's
But,
the
like-
that's like
But that's
it
my
like an
only.
Uncanny
That's my
Valley
only
thing, or-
thing. But also, that's One Piece. If they didn't add that, I feel like One Piece would be trash. I feel like if they didn't do what they did, it would not have gone as far. The fact that they did that, the fact that it's like there's also some characters that just don't look like they're like not, because One Piece is a really weird thing to where the creator just like creates whatever he thinks is funny. So you have like just like ridiculous looking characters. Thank God they didn't go that route. Like I'm thankful they didn't go crazy with it. You know what I mean? Like just like make the CGI these CGI massive hawking people, which there's a person in there's a person of the Straw Hat crew. I'm afraid to death to see him in live action. I don't know if he's going to translate well.
Chopper.
No, not Chopper. What's the only other person to be talking about, Mark?
Why can't you just say the name? Just say the name. What the fuck? What are you doing? What is this? Where are you? What kind of puzzle master riddle shit are you doing? Just tell me.
Welcome to my trap, Mark.
I can think of like literally like
Welcome to my trap,
1,
Mark.
2, 3, 4 people that they haven't
We-
shown yet.
There's
I'm
I'm
pointing
imagining
at my
It's-
posters. You can't see them.
It's one of the 4.
I'm imagining that
Like
Matt is just
And it's not
creating
the
like
girl.
the cube puzzle from Hellraiser and just handing it to Mark.
that's exactly what he's doing. Like I can think of 4 different people from the 10 people crew that they would have trouble with in live action. Like I don't know what you're just saying.
I think they're gonna have trouble with Brooke.
I could see that.
And
I could see trouble with Brooke, but I've seen enough like live action skeletons to think that they could do it well. The person that I think they have trouble with is fucking either Jinbei or Frankie, because
No,
Frankie.
I think Frankie they're gonna have the hardest trouble with. Frankie is such a ridiculous looking character. I feel like they're like it's like I was debating on like well, Brooke or Frankie. Like Brooke I feel like Brooke a little bit more because like you said, there's a lot of good live action skeletons, but Brooke also like if they make him too good, he's gonna look too scary.
fair,
And
but that
he's
would work
not
with
a
what
scary
like,
character.
the thing. Yeah, he's not. But the thing with the live action One Piece, is that they're taking it a little bit like they took it a lot more serious than the actual anime. You do have that
Yes.
fun like those fun like moments, which really like it's like the soul of One Piece. So it really makes sense. But the thing with the live action is that it's very like serious. Like it's people like people die. You know what I mean? Like not necessarily in the live action, but like people die in the world of One Piece. Like there's hardships, there's things that, but in the first before a time skip in One Piece, we don't really care about that. Like it's so goofy and it's like we're just having fun, but it's like
That's
people
a
are
good point,
dying like
yeah.
left and right, and then like
After
at
the
one point
time
they
skip,
fight
shit gets super
zombies.
serious, yeah.
If like at one point they're fighting like at one point fucking Nami gets like
No.
fucking groped,
You
and
know what?
it's like there's
I
like
would say-
and it's like
I would say
this is not okay.
From my experience,
say-
that's most animes though.
oh god, we're gonna have a whole One Piece
Not-
conversation, but we're doing
Not
this.
not as
I
much
would
as-
say like pre time skip, like right before the time skip, it gets kind of serious. Like the prison break scenes, all that. I feel like is the most serious it felt right before the time skip.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, that's that's yeah. I
That's
mean,
the
that's what
point, yeah.
incited it. Like that's the whole
Yeah.
reason why after time skip they're serious now because they lost. This was like the first time they lost.
And they're all separated and shit. I love that, by the
yeah.
way. That was my favorite like part
But,
of the entire series.
But that's yeah. That was the inciting reason as to why they were, why it's so much more serious. I just think it's they're doing that early in live action right now. Like they're going with like post time skip stuff. So like seeing a Brook that actually looks like a real skeleton and like kind of like goofy will be fine, so long as like he does his like skin jokes and so long as he like does his like weird
I feel
90-degree thing.
I feel like he'd be fine if they like if they. I feel like he's gonna be fine if they do make him a little bit more goofier. Like maybe like him looking scary, but him being a goofball would actually
Yeah, I mean,
translate
that-
really
that-
well. Which is
That's
he's
what I said.
a goofball. I know that's what he said. I'm saying I'm agreeing with you, Mark. I'm saying what you that would make more sense. I just like the tone of it feels more serious, but it doesn't feel that serious. That's why I'm only concerned. But I feel also then again now we're gonna talk about Frankie. Like his whole thing is that he just does different machine parts. Are they gonna go sci-fi with him, or are they gonna just make him just a big old giant goofball?
They have to go sci-fi with him. That's his whole thing.
That's
I think
his
that's the whole
thing.
point of like that's the whole
It's gonna
point of
feel
Frankie's
so,
character.
but it's gonna
and
feel
arc.
so out of place.
And not necessarily. I mean, that's the whole point of like Frankie in general is that he's like a cyborg.
He's a
I mean, his
cyborg,
name
yeah.
is like Cyborg Frankie, so like that's
Yeah.
like his
That's
deal.
that's his thing. That's his deal. Yeah.
So
I
I don't
just-
think it would feel out of place. I think it would be odd, but I mean, hey, you also have a dude who fucking throws cannonballs and is made out of rubber, and then we also
That's
have
true.
a dude who puts a sword in his mouth, and like we have a
Oh
guy
my
that
God,
sets
they
his
did
leg on
Zoro
fire.
so well. Oh my God, they did him so well.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
they,
God,
they,
they did him
really
so
did.
well.
The thing is, they didn't go with like the dumb. They went more like the hot route, which I really do
I'm okay with
respect
that.
because they do still successfully he's still very much like the dumb things that he does aren't dumb.
Teacher.
Like,
Yeah.
it translates very
doesn't-
well.
He doesn't feel like because there's certain moments that he just like does things that are like what like
Yeah, that's like a very
favorite
Zorro thing to
example.
do.
My favorite example is the scene when he's trying to catch up with the boat and he just completely overshoots it. That is my greatest.
That
that's my
is a fucking good ass one.
that's
My favorite scene in the live
example.
action is when Luffy wakes up in the forest and he's like, "How did you find me?" He's like, "I didn't. I was just going towards the house." I love it.
Hey, teacher.
Yeah.
How many episodes is this show?
One Piece.
The live action.
Oh,
8.
like 8.
8. If I watch it, will people get off my ass about not watching a
No.
1200 episode show?
No,
It's not about watching a
absolutely not.
1200 episode show. I'm gonna fucking lose it.
Mark,
I'm gonna
before
lose
you-
it because
before
I
you say
hate it
anything-
when people
before
make
you
this
say anything,
argument.
before you
No,
say anything.
because I fucking hate it when people make this stupid ass fucking argument.
I didn't
Because
talk for several
you
minutes
do
and I
so
pissed them off
many
in one
other
sentence.
things. Like you're not watching the fucking full show in a day. You don't have to binge the whole. Watch one episode a day. Why is it so like complicated?
You want to streamline this? You want to make it easy? Just fucking read it. Just read it. You're
It's
gonna
more-
save so much time reading it
You're not-
versus watching
it's
it.
way more. Wait, what?
No,
Yeah, it's way more. It's way more chapters versus episodes. What are you
there
talking
are.
about?
They do cut a lot in the show. I'll give you that. But
What do you
still,
cut a
why
lot
are you-
from this.
How is that going to save you time if there's
Is this
more?
the fucking Odyssey? How long is this fucking
Because it's-
source
you just-
material?
you can just like swipe through it. You don't need to read every word. I'm so kidding. I'm so kidding. I'm so kidding. Don't look at me like that. I'm so kidding.
Matt reads books the way I read my email.
Matt reads books the way I read books. Okay, done. I got it.
I got it. Pull up the Spark
The
Notes.
gist of it's
Give
fine.
me the quiz.
There's a guy that thought this one guy is it. No, they do cut out a lot of it, but there's also it's just I feel like reading it sometimes a little bit faster because like you can just swipe through, you know.
I mean, if we're
I just
talking,
hate the argument of like, oh, well, it's a 20 blah blah blah
Yeah.
show. It's like, but we watch Grey's Anatomy that has like
scary.
fucking 12 seasons.
I didn't.
people,
I don't
it's
want. That's
I
not what I
hate-
watch
I hate
though.
that shit. I
But,
hate
like,
that
just
shit. I hate
watch
that
it.
argument
Just
so
put it-
much.
You can watch it within a year.
Like you
like, just
could, you don't
watch
have
it.
to watch everything
don't have
all
to
at
watch
once.
it every-
no
yeah,
one
you
is
don't have to
asking
binge it.
you to watch everything all at once. Like no one is asking you to do that.
I feel like
And
I
there's
lit
like
a
the
flame
idea
on
that
someone's
it's
ass.
just like it's too long. It's like you watch fucking
Also-
50 movies a day.
Also, every time someone makes an argument, Mark, I go, look, you're gonna watch 5 episodes, and then you come back and tell me you're not gonna continue watching the whole fucking thing. because you will. That show is so enticing and so just easy to digest. You're gonna go back and you're gonna watch every part of it. Every time.
Well, that's my thing is that like I get it if you don't like it, or I get it if you have different gripes, but just the argument that it's too long, so I don't want to do it is so
episodes.
aggravating.
All you gotta do, Johnny, watch 5 episodes. Then you come back and you tell us, do you want to continue watching it or not?
I feel like I've seen at least 5 episodes of the show just through like Toonami osmosis.
Straight up watch 5 episodes before that. I don't look. I've also watched it, right? But like when it was on Toonami and stuff like that. I actually went back and watched a majority of it. I did skip a couple chapters that I know I didn't like in the manga, so I'm like, I'm just gonna skip these. But like, because I read all of them, Mark, so I know what happens.
I'm not talking about that.
Oh, okay. So like, I mean, but go back and just watch it. Just watch 5 episodes, and you tell me that you're not going to be so interested, and you're going to want to watch the rest of it. You don't have to do it all at once. Just you could do it at a couple episodes at a time. You can do 5 episodes a week.
Todd has been like catching up on the show for like 3 years.
Yes.
Like he's been on the same part for months, and he only watches it whenever he feels like it.
You know,
like it's not even. It's like I don't care.
Johnny?
It's like I understand not enjoying something. I understand like fucking like, oh, you know, it's just not my cup of tea or whatever. Which I do have an argument for that, but I get it. But to say that it's too long is just psychotic to me.
Johnny, to Mark's point, right? I've been reading the manga since high school. That's when Gunther got me onto it.
Yeah, and you're fucking 30.
Yeah, because I've been reading it slowly at a time, not all at one go.
I mean, same. I've been watching since I was a kid. I haven't like watched it all at once. I take my time.
Rewatching this series makes me want to go back and rewatch it. I just I might fucking do that. You know why? Because I can watch it a couple episodes at a time. Hell, Johnny, you can watch it. You can watch One Piece up until the point where the live action stops, and then you can wait till live action comes out, and then you can watch it after that and really enjoy it when season 2 comes out. Because they're definitely making season 2. There's no way
they already
don't.
announced it.
Did they announce it? Because
yeah.
I heard a lot of like,
you know,
you
know what this feels like? Have you ever just said like the wrong thing to your significant other?
Yeah.
And then you hear it for 30 minutes.
Yep.
Wow.
And
as you say it.
all
you hear it as you
all
say
you're
it,
thinking
then
about,
you can't control yourself, and then you hear it for 35 minutes why they tell you that what you did was wrong, or what you said was wrong.
I'm thinking is, man, I wish I hadn't made that fucking joke.
I don't think I've ever had that experience before.
You've never just said like the exact
You never
wrong
said like
thing
the
for a
like
scenario?
like accidentally, like in the middle of the heat of an argument, said the wrong thing, and you're like, oh shit, and then they let you have it for 30 minutes.
No.
He's in healthier relationships than us.
Yeah,
I guess. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark, can I have a question?
What?
Why is there a cannon just on display behind you?
That's my first camera ever.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
that's
actually
cool.
like that.
That's so cool. I like
cool.
that.
Oh, yeah. My first camera I've ever had. I'll
What
never get
model
rid
is
of
it?
it. It's my baby. And I got my Nifty 50 on there.
Nice.
I just upgraded my camera game not long ago. I've got the Black Magic now,
I love it's right next to your Wigman.
and it's amazing. I'm so happy to have.
Do you guys like my decorate? Oh, that's right.
Matt, don't feel
If
bad.
you had told me that you actually forgot, I would have believed you.
Matt,
I have a few things. Like, hang on.
look at the garbage that's all behind me. Like I've only been home for like 2 weeks, like since the show.
What are you doing? What are you always doing?
Shows. I'm getting.
What shows?
I just got done with Shakespeare, and now I'm on a traveling educational show with more Shakespeare.
Do you get paid for this, or are you just
Yeah.
doing it for fun?
No, I get paid.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, I definitely get paid.
Oh, okay. Dude, oh, baby.
Well, I'll talk to you after, but this current show I'm on, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what's up.
because like I've done enough tech now that I'm now being called in for technical director positions,
Oh, fancy.
which are a bit more it's almost more managerial almost, but there's still a
Yeah,
lot of
I
like
was a technical director
yeah.
once for
It,
a different show.
it's a lot of fun, and like it made me realize like I really don't miss acting on stage a whole lot. Like I'm fine with it now. Like I'm fine with playing characters in like a setting or a D&D game or something like that, or role play, or doing a scene with somebody. It's fine. It's the process that gets to me of rehearsals and memorization and all that stuff that just bogs me down, as opposed to doing like the technical stuff, which is just all like I'm the only guy around who knows how to, plug wire B into hole A, and then fucking everything works.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, totally.
Isn't that
Absolutely.
the fucking worst shit on the planet? I hate that.
Crazy, right?
I've run that I've run into that too often in my life, where you're like the only technical guy and they're like, "Hey, this thing isn't working. Did you try unplugging it?"
Yeah.
No. Okay, try that. Oh, it works now. Thanks. It's like, yeah, fucking idiot.
It's,
I
yeah.
run into that too much in my life.
The worst is when you show up somewhere new and they are trying to teach you how equipment you
Dealing
use.
that with old people
Yeah, that's
all
my job.
day
That's my day job.
long. All right, Mark, it's it.
That's my day job right now.
The
I was
worst.
speaking like the example that I was giving was like specifically like to Johnny's thing, where like I was like the technical person on hand.
Yeah.
But now to your point, that's my day job.
Yep. Sorry, Johnny, you were saying?
The worst is when I've had it at times. It's not the worst. It's fine. But when you come in to a new place and they're trying to show you how their setup works, because everyone's slightly different, but most of these are pretty much the
Pretty
same.
much the same.
They're pretty much the same. I can jack into any place, especially with traveling. You have to
Ew.
be ready to just work with wherever you are.
I mean, yeah. Do you keep like a little pocket lotion on you, or do you like napkins?
I'm
Like,
just
what's
imagining like
your setup?
just raw dog into a 1/4 jack.
Nice. Me too.
Okay. All right. Well,
What?
Johnny, that's not a phrase. It's not a sentence I thought I would hear in my life. But I did hear
you
it.
just not raw dog it?
Wait,
into a
are you
1/4 jack?
what are you
Raw
more of an
dog into 1/4
XLR?
jack.
You more of an XLR input?
I think
Yeah, I
he is.
am, dude. Hell yeah. Have you not met me before?
Yeah, you
I'm
just
XLR all day, every day. Let's go.
motherfucker. I'm wireless.
Personally, I prefer like a little RCA action. You know, get like the two.
I
Get like the
prefer
2, sometimes 3 in there.
quality. I prefer the quality. Of
Oh,
XLR
you guys want to
mix.
hear a weird
I
rabbit hole I've
have-
discovered with the 3D printers?
What?
There's like a whole communities dedicated to like 3D printing body parts for amputees and stuff like that, like hands, arms, legs.
Seeing that on the Tiki Takis.
Logically, where do you think that ends up going?
Penis
Exactly.
and dildos.
So there's a whole subset of internet communities who use like really like flexible rubber resins and stuff like that to create to 3D print various size dildos and
Yeah.
various
Are there like
means
extenders?
to
Like
each their
if I
own.
put my is there that kind of community where I can just like extend
Are you
my
trying
length?
to fuck some? How, Mark? That cannot be pleasurable. You don't feel it.
just like I don't know, like an
No, because
now
you
he's
want
thinking.
you want like the equivalent of
I
like
like
a no
Wait,
no
Mark,
no
You fucked a pussy. You know how good it feels. Yo, you make that pussy rubber. Yo, we need to edit all that out.
no we don't no we don't.
See.
You make that shit rubber? You think that's gonna be more enjoyable?
No, Mark might be onto something. You're asking for like those like grabbers, like those extendable arms or whatever. But
If
like
no,
for your
something
if
like
it's like
that.
a fleshlight. If it's like a fleshlight, right? Like imagine a fleshlight dildo.
Yeah, see? You see what I mean?
So you're fucking while also getting.
Oh, they have
you're
that. They have that. That's a real thing.
They
This
have
sounds like
flashlights now?
some like missionary college shit.
Joe, bro, you have to have the world's smallest penis.
I'm gonna send this.
You
in the
have
group
to
chat.
have the world's smallest
Please,
penis
I really don't want
to
this
make
in my
a
Discord.
flashlight dildo.
I'm gonna, and it's on Amazon.
reasonable.
And it's on
You
Amazon. It's
have
20
to
bucks.
have a
Whoa,
tiny
okay.
dick.
You
The
can put
girl
it in
has to have
there,
a
and then there's
big,
like a
big
little, like
badge.
there's like a
Because-
little
bro,
vibrator
bro,
thing.
dude, that shit's got to be like this fucking big. Like, there's no way, unless
Matt.
it has like attachments where it's like
No,
it's longer.
Matt. How
Mark,
do you
I was
think-
so not prepared for that.
What do you mean?
I figured it would be like a nice purple color or something like that. No, it's like veiny and shit. Is
No,
what you
because
just
it's a
sent me.
sleeve that goes over yours, so it's meant to look
Hang
like
on.
yours.
I need to look at this shit up. I need to look at what Mark just said. Hang on,
No,
hold
you
on.
don't.
Because
Hang on, internet.
Like no, Matt's overthinking it because he's thinking like you're going like 20 fucking feet
Oh.
big. It's like no, it's just
Actually, yeah.
like an inch or
Wait.
two bigger. It's not that. It is a thing. I don't
How
know
do you
why you would want
secure
it. I was
that?
doing it as a bit.
Like I
I
get.
don't know why you would actually want to do that, but hey.
How do you
Yeah, why
secure
to
it
each his
on?
own, I
would you want to
guess.
do that?
Like how do you
Mm.
like? Would you need?
To make, if you're not big enough, I guess, to make your lover better, I guess.
Yeah, look at this one. This one's ribbed for her pleasure.
Okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath. What the fuck am
This
I
one looks like it's
looking-
an alien. Ah. This is cool.
I
I
don't
like.
like-
I found a subset of products.
Stop!
It looks like an alien.
Stop! Oh my
What?
god, it does. It does look like. I don't like it. Can
Oh,
we-
this one's
can we
clear,
change
so
this
you can have like an imagination of what it would
All
look
right,
like.
internet down.
if you
I'm so
had it
sorry
used.
that we changed into this podcast. This has been.
I just
18
googled
plus.
it. What do you want from me?
See,
You
it
just- I
looks-
found all these on Google. It's
It
not that
looks like
hard.
that's doing more for girth than it is length.
Yeah, but women
Yeah,
like
but what
girth
if you're
more than
fine?
men.
What
I don't
if you're
know. I don't know where
fine-
it came up.
What if you're
guys like
fine
want
in the
length. It's all about
length?
girth.
What if you're fine in the length aspect, but you're lacking in the girth aspect? you
Did
know?
I wake up this morning and think we're gonna talk about cock sleeves today? No.
I did not think about that either. I never thought I would ever have that conversation with another human
Whoa.
being.
Have
But
you
you
ever
know
guys
what,
heard
Johnny?
of Bad Dragons?
Oh, stop! I know what those.
This
are.
one's like that, but
Don't.
like you put your your little schlong in there.
Mark, that
Put
looks like
your
the fucking
little
chest
schlong
burster
in
from
there.
Alien.
What?
That looks like the chest burster from Alien.
It does. It really does. These are so funny.
I like that thing's gonna.
I like.
You're
I like.
gonna whip
I
that-
like how they have little holes for your nuts. Little
Yeah,
nut
it's to hold like it's to hold it in.
No,
It's to hold it in.
it's
like,
gonna.
like
That's gonna. You're
stays
gonna
in
whip
there.
that out of your pants, Mark, and it's gonna start going. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
Hello,
Hello, my ragtime gal.
well, the idea isn't that you're
Only an awesome group of people will actually get that reference.
the idea isn't that you're wearing it the whole time. The idea is that you're like, hey baby, you want to spice it up, and
How-
then you put it on. It's a toy.
That's got to be a defeating thing to purchase.
Not really. I mean,
Or
like
unless-
like obviously in certain circumstances we're like, hey baby, I bought you this thing. You put it on. It's like, well, yeah, but it's like it's one of those things like, hey, I
Yeah,
found this.
especially-
I'm gonna put
Let's
this on.
say let's
You
say
know what I
you're
mean?
you're like really long, but you're like not skinny, but not too fat. You add this to make your longness fatter.
See, you're seeing it like a paraplegic person, like where they want some legs. Like, no, I'm like, like they're tools that you use. They're tools. So
I
this is a
don't-
tool that you would use for, different experiences.
I don't know where this has gone. I just wanted to talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Welcome to Internet Town, where we just have the conversations. This is internet related, I guess.
I found it on
Yeah.
Google.
You can put it. Yeah, it's on the
Oh.
internet.
So, to my anime corner, I have nothing really to talk
We
about.
just talked
besides,
about
like,
One Piece for fucking
Um,
ever.
Bleach
I
is
watched
really good.
One Piece is good. I just finished the well, I got caught up on Jujutsu Kaisen. That was
I was
good.
just gonna.
I'm actually
yeah, I was gonna say
interested
that
I
in
is
finished, I
watching
finally
that.
finished
That's
Demon
on my
Slayer.
list.
The new season of Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer was good. I ugly cried. That ending was so sad that I didn't expect it to be that sad, and then it was happy, and then it was sad again.
Oh, I know exactly what ending
yeah.
you're thinking of.
Yeah, that I didn't
And the
expect that.
manga, I read the manga ahead of time. So like watching it, I didn't really feel more because I knew what had happened. But like in the manga, I was like, oh my god, no way. There's
I
no way
ugly
they're doing
cried.
this. I'm like, there's
Yeah.
no way they're doing this. There's no way. And then like it for like a couple panels, it just didn't show the you know what. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
no, they did that in the anime
no.
too.
I'm like, no, no,
they
don't, no,
like really
no,
like
no, bro. I legitimately put my phone down and I'm like, they can't. There's no way they can't. There's
the
no way.
episode is like 40 minutes long, and like
I've
a
seen
good
it. I watched
10
it.
to 15
Yeah.
of that is just that scene.
It's just.
It's
Oh my
like
God.
they
Bro.
really like stay on there.
I wish I didn't read it ahead of time so I can like feel the emotions again. But like, bro, dude, that shit was intense.
It was like 3 in the morning, and I was just like bawling my eyes out.
Yeah, yeah. That it makes you feel things. Like, thank God, right? Thank God. But
Yeah.
it makes you feel things. You're like, oh my God,
I would like to
because they could
interrupt.
have done that.
I would like to interrupt what I watched this week as well.
Some
Oh, yeah?
movie that was made in like the 60s that nobody has ever heard of.
No, a movie that was made in 2019. I'm catching up on.
What?
Yeah. I'm catching up on 2 things right now because apparently Showtime is just offered with Paramount Plus now, so I got Showtime
Yeah,
for free.
yeah.
It's really cool.
So I'm catching up on the entire A24 catalog and then also
Nice.
the Oscar picks from the past couple of years.
What movie did you watch?
I'm gonna watch The Whale next. That's on and Everything Everywhere All at Once. I still haven't seen it. Those are both on
I've
my
heard
list.
good things about The Whale.
Yeah.
I
Those
have.
are
I
both
you-
on my
for sure.
list.
Okay.
But on the A24 side of things, I just watched Midsommar for the first time.
Oh, I hate that movie.
Oh,
I also
you hate it.
I also hated the movie, Mark.
I really
What?
like because let me okay.
I think we're gonna have some similar opinions here,
All right.
Mark.
All right. So
I
first
didn't
off,
hate it. I didn't hate it.
well, I didn't like it, and then the reason why I hate it, I'm about to say. I hate it when the fan base is too over enjoying of something to the point where it's annoying.
Mark
Every
hates
single
joy.
person. No, it's not that. It's just every single person that I've ever seen enjoy Midsommar and like Midsommar as a movie would just not shut the fuck up about it, and just it gets annoying. Like, oh my god, Midsommar! Oh my god, it's the best movie ever made! Oh my god, it's the best thing ever made! Like, I fucking love
Ooh.
Midsommar. It's like annoying
Yeah.
anime fan base. I know you know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My Hero is the best. I don't like
Oh
telling
my God.
Rick and
Oh,
Morty. I
Rick
don't
and
like
Morty
telling
fans
people
are
that I like
bad.
those shows because the
Yeah.
fan base is that annoying.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. I hate it when a fan base is like that.
When
And the
you
Midsommar
get
fan base.
ashamed of liking something because of the fan base. You
Yes,
know what?
exactly.
You know what that happened to me with Star Wars. I fucking can't stand like watching most Star Wars stuff now because of how terrible the fan base is.
Oh, you know what? I'll give you that. It's terrible. It's the same result, but a different equation
Mhm.
because they're like angry, not annoying.
You know,
Annoying.
I say something about Midsommar that I liked about it. One reason why I think it's a good movie, not the greatest movie of all time. That's no. The one thing I really liked about that movie, and it's one thing that the director has done with his previous movies and their other movies, is that it's meant to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're
and-
not
yeah.
meant to enjoy the movie. You're
Here's
meant to
the
be
thing.
uncomfortable. The whole point of the movie is that you feel uncomfortable while watching it.
Okay,
That's the point of the fucking movie.
I'm gonna make a counter argument to this right now because I've heard that, and I don't want anyone going out like you just didn't get it, man. Like I get the movie, it's fine. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. This, you know, what other movie is supposed to do that? Is Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: both of those movies did not make me uncomfortable. They fucking annoyed me. And the way they did it, and this happens in both of those movies, and it ruins the movie for me. They take a 5-second loop of a soundtrack and play it through an entire 3-hour fucking movie. And it annoys the shit out of me, and it ruins the entire movie for me. That happens in both of those movies. It happens in any movie where it's supposed to make you feel uncomfortable. You know?
For me,
I'll give
I
you that.
was
There's
uncomfortable.
There's lack of like sound in the movie.
Yeah, I was uncomfortable, and the sound isn't what really got me. It's more so just like I understand a movie that wants me to be uncomfortable. I understand sound like editing and like sound design. What I don't understand is like being weird for the sake of being weird. Like doing weird shit for the sake of doing weird shit.
No, I'm all for that, personally.
I
Like,
hate that.
I
That's
love
why I
doing
don't
weird
like
shit.
Adult Swim comedy. It's why I
I
don't like that style of
See, I
comedy
love that
because
stuff.
it's the same thing. I hate that shit.
The
I
thing-
don't like why.
I agree with Mark. I don't like that style of comedy. It's not really my thing. Like not the Dave Chappelle show. What was the
The Eric Andre.
Eric Andre show?
Yeah.
I never thought that was funny. Besides the one clip from it, because it was literally that, like the dark, like, or Tim and Eric, right? Just the whole like comedy of the whole, like, no, I don't want to do air quotes because it is comedy, right? The comedy of making things weird for the sake of them being funny because they're weird and out of place. I get the concept. I don't enjoy the concept. I did enjoy Midsommar's concept because it's weird and uncomfortable and unfamiliar aspect. That's why I feel like it translated really well with that, because it's unfamiliar, and that's what makes it uncomfortable.
Do enjoy the cinematography of the movie. The movie is objectively.
I'll give you that.
beautiful.
It's a very beautiful movie.
If you've seen his other movies, like,
Yeah,
or
here's the thing.
there
I
are
loved
other movies.
same director did Hereditary. I loved
Mhm.
Hereditary. Hereditary was great. This one I feel
A lot of it too came off the heels of Hereditary too, so there was a lot of pressure.
I feel that the difference between Hereditary and this is I think a lot of it's in the acting. I don't think the actors in Midsommar have enough to chew on. I feel like they're trying to do a less is more thing, but I need more. I need a little bit more out of it.
I feel like, though, that Johnny, I feel like that is coming from a film versus play aspect to it, where it's like that definitely feels like that hits the nail in the coffin with like film acting, where it's like very more realistic, more down to earth, and not over exaggerated.
Well, that gets into my second complaint. I do not believe that, unlike Hereditary, I do not buy that these characters in this situation would make these decisions.
No, I agree.
For me, it's that a lot of
agree
the
in that,
deaths
actually.
are unearned. It's the fact, like a lot of them, there's just no reason why they're killing them, because like the whole, like the idea is that like they're like killing them, like out of ritual, whatever, but like they deserve to die. Like that's like the whole thing, where like they're pieces of shit and they deserve to die. Most of these people, or like let's say half of these people didn't do anything wrong. Two of them
just wanted to leave.
Exactly. One of them got butterflied because he wanted to go home.
Yeah.
And then another dude, I forgot what happened to him.
He
but
pissed
he just
on a
peed on a
tree.
tree.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that. I like that. He did just pee on a
he
tree.
just peed on a tree. Like it doesn't it's unearned. Like because like don't get me wrong, most horror movies, like if you look at a slasher movie or if you look at anything, they're just whatever. You just kill them. They just can't.
But that has the added effect of the kills being very entertaining. Is the thing.
Yeah, exactly. But for this movie in particular, it's the fact that these guys are pieces of shit. Like that's the whole idea.
I'm gonna build off that, Mark. I'm gonna build off that, Mark. Because like I feel like when they first introduced the old people dying off the cliff, like that, I feel like if they went that route, right, to where it's like they need to fix the numbers, or like maybe these guys are outsiders and we need to kill. I feel like if they went that route instead of like this whole like they're bad people and they do things wrong, like they had a perfect setup for it, and they're like, we're gonna ignore that though. That means nothing.
Well, technically, they do gain 2 people out of the whole thing.
I mean, yeah, they do. I mean that numbers aspect, it does make sense.
But that's not the point of why they killed them.
Exactly.
If that was the point of why they killed them, that actually would have been better. That would have fixed the narrative more.
The biggest part of the movie that had me rolling my eyes is when, right before the, I don't know if we can say this on YouTube, Mark, you might have to blur this out. Right before the
assault
scene.
I think I can.
Was it really
assault it out anyway?
He was drugged and forced to have sex with a woman. Yes, it
he
was
wasn't really forced. He kind of decided to do it.
He was under the influence.
He was under the influence, but he chose to do it.
I'm saying it is. I'm definitely. If I was on the jury,
I would say if I was also on a jury, I would consider that as well.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I wouldn't. I mean, like it's one thing. Like nobody.
He was severely under the influence.
Here's my line.
Yes,
popped
but
him
there
full
was no,
stuff.
but there wasn't like anybody
We
like
had no idea
pushing
what
him
was
to
going
do
on.
it. He just took his pants off and started
Oh,
doing it.
other than the entire fucking cult of naked women that was like pushing him into this.
They didn't join in to do it until he was already in.
It doesn't change the
I
fact.
remember that specifically because I was expecting a finger.
What?
I was expecting a finger
Finger?
because they're pushing his butt. Like
Yeah.
they're pushing him while he's doing the
Oh,
thrust.
I
Yeah.
see
I'm
what he's
expecting one of them
saying.
to just,
He
like-
expected one of them to stick a finger in.
Yeah,
I still argue that
that's why I remember that very
he
vividly.
could not have consented in that scenario.
Yeah, it's one thing if like someone's like, "Hey, let's do this thing," or like you start. It's another thing if you just see someone and you're just like,
He
you
was
know?
a piece of shit. He was a
like
piece of shit.
I guess we're just gonna start doing this. You know what I
it
mean?
did fit his character arc technically. He was a piece of shit. The boyfriend was a piece of shit.
Here's
Didn't
my
like him from the
other
start.
argument. He was a piece of shit, but he was also kind of doing the best with the scenario he had.
Not really. That's that. This one, like I said, like half of them. He is the other half that deserve to die.
He should. He didn't even after the pubic fucking thing. He didn't like be like, nah, I'm staying away from this.
That's the
I
thing
don't think he
where I'm
knew
like,
about that.
I'm
Did
like,
he? I feel like he did, didn't he?
No, he didn't know about that.
no, he
Oh,
did. He did. He
oh,
brings it
he
up
did, he
later.
found
No,
out.
no. You're talking about the hair. I thought you were talking about
The
the drink.
No, the hair.
Oh yeah,
and
he
the-
doesn't
and
know
the
about the
I thought you were
natural
talking about the drink.
blood thing.
Yeah.
No. The hair and the food. He didn't know about that.
Yeah, and he, like I feel like at that point, any reasonable person, like he did freak out about it, but like he was like, "It's whatever." I'm like, "Yo, no,
See,
bro,
that
you
was a
stay away
really
from
good
these people."
shot because his lemonade was the only one that had like a different color to it, and it was actually a
Exactly.
very well done shot.
That's what I thought you were talking about.
But
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's different.
but like that. I don't believe that when these characters were established for like who they are, what they are, that these are the decisions they're gonna make going forward when presented to things like the people jumping off the cliff, when you start catching it on that they might be doing this weird ritual with your food and stuff, like to make you fall in love with this girl, where you're gonna start your friends are conveniently disappearing. And I will say very conveniently disappearing. I will give it a slight benefit of the doubt because they are being constantly drugged.
Yes.
But the part that gets the worst is when the girlfriend's off dancing around the runic symbol or whatever, and he's brought another drink that is so clearly drugged, and he's just like, fuck it, and takes it. That's the point where I'm like, I don't buy that these characters will do this. I feel like they have no self-preservation. And I feel like any sane person would walk into this place, be like, oh, this is a fucking cult, and then walk out. And they do that. They do that with the couple that tries to leave.
That's my point. Is that those two people? They just wanted to go home.
Yeah.
They just wanted, and then they were just like, yeah, nah, sorry. And then you got butterfly like a chicken on Thanksgiving.
And I get that the other people are like, there's the two guys that are trying to write a whole thing about these people. But like, I don't buy it. And when I don't buy something, it's the biggest thing that ruins a movie for me, is when I can't suspend any disbelief. I think that these decisions are too outlandish and they're not justified. The way you feel like the kills weren't justified, I feel like the decision making wasn't. I feel like I needed
No, that's fair.
more. And I know that's insane to say because the movie is almost 3 hours long.
You know what they should have done, and would have made so much more sense if they lead more into the drugging. Like maybe they're drugged from the beginning.
Yeah, I would buy that. And here's the thing, the scenes they do, I do genuinely wish there was more scenes where like we saw them high, because like when she sees like the grass growing out of her feet and stuff, that's visually
That was fucking amazing.
yeah, those visuals are great.
Yeah.
Those visuals are really great, and it kind of gives off the sense of like the paranoia and what they're seeing and like how this is going, like a bad trip, you know.
Can I make one argument about Midsommar that all three of us really don't fit in this category? You need to watch it in a sense to where you don't watch a lot of movies, to where you're not used to what a movie should be. Does that?
I don't think
the
that's the case because I
the
know
average
so many
moviegoer.
people that are like literally like filmmakers, and they're like, oh my god, it's so good, oh my god, it's so great, it's so fantastic, like oh my god, it's just the best movie ever made.
Or I think we're talking about the other extreme where filmmakers are like, this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. No, like I mean, like because like this again, the cinematography in the movie was actually like straight up
Oh no, it
on
was
point.
fantastic.
It was on
I
point, but they had a lot of the plot wasn't there.
maybe, but I think that goes back to what I was saying before, where it's like I don't think the actors have enough to chew on. I
Hmm.
feel like
That was actually my problem with Hereditary too, is that it just it goes one way and they're like, nah, fuck that. And they just go a completely different direction, which kind of the ending for me, Hereditary did not enjoy.
oh no, see, I loved the ending. I thought it was built up fine. I thought they were going a good direction with it, and I think rewatching it makes the movie really better because you get
Rewatching with that lens does make it
yeah,
better,
with
but
you know
like
where it's
at the
going.
same time too, I feel like it would be better if it was left off like ambiguous
My
instead
thing
of it just a
is
straight up
that
answer.
I really wanted a scene like Hereditary, where that scene where like they're going around where they're at the dinner table and they just they basically go through the core wounds of all of these characters
Yeah.
and bring up and like what their deal is and like where they're going, and it's so done so masterfully, and it's such a good scene. I really needed that in this movie. I really needed um something like that. And a lot of it is done with I can't remember her name, but the girlfriend, the main character.
Yeah.
She gets a lot of that with like crying with like the women towards the end and stuff like that. But
Oh, when they share her pain,
yes,
yeah, when she becomes indoctrinated in the group, yeah,
yes, because she,
Yeah.
like when it comes to the whole thing about sharing her pain, like letting her like
yeah.
get all this stuff out, like I get that. I feel like it's a little too subliminal though. I feel like it needed to be a little bit more explicit with what was happening. Not that
Well, I mean,
the audience isn't
they
getting it, but that I wanted to see that happen. I wanted this actor to present that through the lens of the character that they've created.
I mean, you do see that they do that. Like right when the old people died, they did that. When the guy is screaming out in pain, they all scream with him.
Yeah, you
You
see
know,
that.
remember when he
Yeah,
falls off the
you do
lift and he
that,
breaks
but
his
it's not
leg,
like I
and they're
need.
all
What I
screaming with
needed
him?
was a general character to character conversation.
I think
I actually
it's
feel the
implied.
opposite.
I mean, it's a lot.
I like when movies do that. Oh, sorry, Mark.
I do
Go ahead.
like that it's subtle, but like a lot of it is implications that like, oh, they're feeling each other's pain and they're doing all this or whatever. That's the whole point of that. What I don't like is that like I hear about like I'll bring what you just said up, and the idea is like you just never had a toxic ex before. It's like that. I mean, even if I did, it wouldn't drive me to be okay with putting him in a bear suit and
Setting him ablaze.
burning him
Yeah,
alive.
I don't
Like,
buy her ending
Mm.
catharsis. I don't buy this character's
neither do I.
return to having changed. I don't buy their last peg on the hero's journey. Like I don't think that even in this scenario, after her seeing him with the other woman, that they would make this decision. And like I get that he's a real shitty boyfriend, but at the same time, she wasn't a great girlfriend either. Like it's just a
Yeah.
bad relationship. She was very codependent and he was
Well, she's
very
dealing with like the death of her family.
right. And I get that, but that is not an excuse to become dependent on another person, because doing that, I'm thinking about like what my therapist would say if I was in a situation like this, and all I can hear is that
Your therapist has given you advice on when you're in a Norwegian cult and they're trying to indoctrinate you by killing all your friends and family.
I'm trying not to say anything because I've been in a few codependent relationships to where it was yeah. I'm just
and I hate to put it this way, but there is a point where my therapist told me, because I am a type of person that very much like will try to save the world and will try to help every person in my life and bear their burdens. And
Yeah.
The thing that changed it for me is when she told me, "Do not rob someone of the chance to go through a crisis." That is something that has stuck with me ever
Mm.
since they brought it up. Yeah, I'm
Yes,
preaching it, right?
queen.
Because
Yeah.
Watch me
what
agree
that
with that. And
does,
he's like,
what
Oh my god.
what that does is that is their journey. That is their right to grow. We only grow in crisis, and it
if
by trying to insert yourself into their crisis, it is only gonna drag you and them down.
all right, we're gonna
So
change. We're gonna change
I'm gonna be
subjects. We're
honest.
going
What
into
the
this
hell was
because
your point again?
I do like this comment.
I have
Oh,
no
I
idea
just-
why
I
you
was
brought
talking
that
think
up.
about the
this is a very
relationship
good
between the
conversation
two
to
of
have.
them.
We're going to the relationship aspect. Fuck Midsommar. We're going to this. I decided.
Oh, you want to talk about
Um,
relationships? Okay, let's do it.
I've been on the receiving end of actually a few times. One of them you guys know. The other few I'm not sure if you guys are super familiar with. I've been on the receiving side of a codependent relationship. And it's like, yes, if you give too much in a codependent relationship, they won't grow from it. They will just cling onto what's familiar with them. People who are codependent for a reason. So they cling on to what is familiar and they will not let it go.
Mm-hmm.
So to that point, Johnny, it makes perfect sense. Like, yeah, you gotta give them a little bit of that bird's nest push and be like, you can't rob someone of the chance to learn from what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. And I've learned that I have been on both sides of that equation. I have been the person who has been the crutch, and I've been the person that needed the crutch. And it's not healthy for anyone. It's
Mm-mm.
not. It's not. I think one of the relationships I've had that I don't regret because I've since made amends with this person. We're good friends still. Was that I was emotionally unavailable and I was using her as a crutch, trying to become vulnerable when I wasn't ready. I very much
Yeah.
needed to be alone. And after we broke up, I stayed single for a long time and I got my shit together, frankly. And it wouldn't have happened if she didn't literally say the words to me, "Get your shit together."
Is your shit really together now?
I
Dude,
cannot
you didn't
agree
know
with that
me.
more.
You didn't know
So-
me at this time. Whew, man.
I'm gonna talk about a few
So
things.
this is you fixed? Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna talk
Oh
about
my
a few
God.
things.
This is Johnny on
I'm not
antidepressants,
gonna
man.
go
I'm
into
great.
detail. You guys all know this. My most recent longer term relationship was it was like 2 years.
Which
but
one?
the one that you know I'm talking about. A little over 2 years. Long term relationship for me. I'm not usually a relationship kind of guy. A lot of that. A lot of what I've learned. Yeah, there's the eyebrows. What have I learned? A lot of it. What I've learned from it was, first of all, I was wrong in thinking that I was not at fault, because I definitely was. When it comes to relationships, it's a give and take kind of thing. It's a lot of it does have to come down to communication. Also depends on the person. At the time, what I did not realize is that I am a person in a relationship that likes to be more independent and on their own. And like I don't want to say like you gotta like give up some things. Like I do like being convenient, which Johnny just
I
left.
don't know what is happening. Everything's broken.
You can keep
Todd moved all of us, and I don't think he realized that we were in the middle of a podcast.
It's fine. We're also recording, right?
I moved you.
What the fuck is happening?
What is he doing?
Where is he?
Wrong button, yeah.
Why are you doing that?
Todd did all of it. Just turn the
I did
camera-
all that. I didn't say anything, so you could just keep going.
Mark, well, I didn't know this was happening. All right, whatever.
Just
But
keep
the-
going.
Go back to pouring your heart out.
Yeah, I'll pull my heart out. What I didn't realize
This is the
time,
boys' talk, okay?
what I didn't realize at the time was like
That's what we get for being in
that
general.
like when it comes to stuff like relationships and stuff, it's definitely a give and take. It's a communication kind of deal. It's also like you're learning a lot about yourself and about your partner. So my partner was very codependent, extraordinarily so, like to a point where it was
I can attest.
very
I know
quote
this
unquote
person. Yes,
needy.
they were.
It was very needy. However, I wasn't that person that they needed. And at the time, I didn't realize that I wasn't. I thought, maybe we can fix things and stuff like that. But when it comes to stuff like relationships, and in that aspect, you need to know yourself enough. So you also need to be on your own. I know you can hear my dog in the background. I'm so sorry. You also need to be on your own for a while. And I am so glad that, and I jump between relationships every once in a while. I took those time to myself and I didn't immediately jump into another relationship, because you know what happens when you do that? You don't learn from your previous mistakes.
It's like
You go right back into what was familiar.
it's like doing semester work like back to back. Like you don't really remember any of that shit.
No.
Like
No.
that decompression time is great. Like
Yes.
that's where like the most growth in my life has come from. And I really feel like I'm at the point now in my life where I would be willing to open myself up to like the one, quote unquote, I would be willing to get into that relationship now. I feel like I'm at a point where it would be healthy for me, it would be healthy for them. But you don't know that until you're there. It's trial and error. And unfortunately, when you're dealing with people, you fuck up occasionally, and
Yeah.
the best thing is that you got to make amends. You got to do what's right. Sometimes forgiveness is not going to happen. And you just got to move on with your life. And like, I think I'm like being in therapy now and talking about past mistakes and realizing that I was allowing other people to forgive me, or not even just a relationship, but just like mild transgressions. People were forgiving me and I was making amends, but I was never forgiving myself. I was never. Yeah, you can butt in.
I was going to say, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that, because I feel that
Therapy,
again,
man, it works.
there is, again, my therapy. I mean, I'm going through therapy as well. We all know this. I'm not ready to announce it on stream just yet, but I will announce it soon. There's a reason why I'm going through therapy, and it's a really depressing, but and everything's going to be okay in the end.
I'm hesitant if we should even leave all this in, but I feel like it's good for people to hear.
I want to leave it in.
Okay.
Because again, also for what I want to say, again, for me, when I talk about, a lot of my friends know this person, and it's not. I didn't talk about this person. I did not ever say anything negative about this person as well. I don't think they did anything wrong. I just think it just didn't work for the relationship it was.
Do you?
What's up?
I was gonna ask you a question. Do
Yeah, go for it.
have a harder time with letting go of regret or achieving remorse?
I do. I have OCD. It actually, it literally is legitimate problem for me. I can't let things go.
Because those
Things that I regret,
are
I can't let go.
very similar, but like you think they would be very similar, but they're actually quite different. Like the thing that I heard that like really put in perspective to me was like regret is like, man, that was a fucking shitstorm. If I could go back in time, I never would do that. I would just avoid that altogether. But remorse is, it happened. It's okay that it happened.
But you wish it didn't.
No, actually, I
Really?
I
do
don't
wish
think you're
it.
paying attention.
I do wish that it happened, and I'm okay that it happened now, and I accept that it happened.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
learned
No.
from that
Okay. Sorry. I wasn't
experience.
fully paying attention. Yes. Yes. I
And I
agree.
think every bad decision I've made in my life has gotten me to the point, and luckily I haven't done anything that's like horrific, like or anything like that. I'm not like I didn't hold up a store and end up in jail,
I was gonna say, I don't think anybody in this podcast has done anything horrific. I
Yeah,
would at least like.
I
to
never
hope so.
killed a man,
Yeah.
like I didn't get
Turn on your camera, you
I
bitch.
didn't get addicted to drugs or anything like
Turn on your
that,
camera, you bitch.
Um,
It is on.
But
we moved. I forgot.
a lot of the emotional transgressions that I've had been either dealt with or I have dealt out, I have been lucky enough to make remorses of. Um, and I would never change those things that happened because I learned from them. Um,
Oh.
Yeah.
and I
I
feel
feel the
like
same
that's
way.
like the
I get
most
that.
valuable thing you could have out of it. You know, and I
I
know
mean,
more about myself because of it. I know way
we
more
learn
about myself.
we learn from our mistakes.
It's fine.
We definitely
Mistakes are a
do.
good thing. We should make mistakes. And
Yo, that's the thing. I hate that mistakes have this negative connotation to them.
Mhm.
We learn from our mistakes. That's the point of making a mistake, so you can learn from it. You know, the whole fucking point of making mistakes that you learn from those mistakes. And I wanted to say something. It's a point where you said something, and oh yeah, sorry. No, I forgot actually. God damn it.
yeah, I was
Fuck.
just
I had this whole thing. I wanted to say because you brought up something earlier, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. Do you remember what that was? So I can go back and pull from my
I
brain.
think you had a moment where I
Yeah,
was
he remembers exactly why you
I
were
was
feeling,
saying
or you were like, "Oh man, that's such a
No.
good point."
What
no,
he
let me think
said,
about all
not what I was.
the quotes I've written
Oh.
down from my therapist. Fucking never compete, compromise, or compare. Don't fucking don't rob someone of the chance to go through a crisis.
Yes.
The difference between regret and remorse. I don't know. The thing that has been healthy for me right lately, and I really hate to say it like this, the thing that
Mhm.
has been healthy for me lately is being more selfish. I was giving myself away in too many lanes, in too many people, in too many jobs, like in all of it. And when I had to finally start cutting off people who were using me as an emotional crutch, or I had to stop taking jobs that were not compensating me in a way that was worth my time and my skill set, and accepting that I am of a caliber that deserves that respect. Doing
have.
all of that stuff has made me so much more happier in the past couple of years. On top of the immense amount of antidepressants I am on.
I have one thing to say.
That
about
also helps a lot.
I am guilty. I want to admit this, that I'm guilty of this, and I'm going to tell this to everybody that does this because I myself have been guilty of this. Your friends are not your therapist.
Yeah.
Okay? Your friends are not your
Your
therapist.
therapist.
Do not go to your friends about severe issues that you're going through right now. They're going to want to help, but you need professional help for that.
And
Do
not to say you
not-
can't confide to your friends, but do
Yeah,
not
confide to your friends.
do not
but do
air
not-
your grievances onto them.
Yes, do not make your problems, your burdens, their burdens.
Problems. When
It is-
your fucked up brain starts affecting others, that is the major sign to go get professional help.
And this needs to be the caveat to this, right? When you need help, ask for help. Right?
Yeah.
If it's
And
so
that's
bad,
hard.
you need help. In that sense, it is a-okay to go and ask for help.
Yeah. And don't
However,
even if it's hard for you to do that for yourself, do it for the people around you then.
yes. Yeah, we're going to go in a very dark place, but if it's hard for you to admit it, don't do it for yourself. Do it for the people that love you and the people that will be affected by said actions. And in that aspect, definitely go for someone to help. However, if it's not that severe, and you know when it's that severe, because there's plenty of people that will cry wolf with that. But if you know it's that severe, then you need to ask someone. But if it's not that severe and you just need to air your grievances, air all these things, all your problems, your troubles, don't go to your friends for that. Your friends aren't your therapists.
Mm.
They're not going to give you the right answers that you generally need to learn to grow. Because fun fact about those answers, sometimes, not all the time, but a lot of the times, they're the answers that you're not expecting, and they're the answers that you're not really ready to hear just yet. But you
And
need to hear
I
them.
would say if you are the friend, don't
Mhm.
be afraid to say
Yeah.
you are affecting my mental health with your circumstances. I think you need to go see a professional and not me. You know.
Look, it's being the friend of that aspect, right? Yeah, it's okay to be like, I can't help you with this,
And that's
and I don't want this.
yeah. It's a very fancy way of saying not my problem. And
Yeah.
that's selfish, and that is hard to do because a lot of us who want to be good people don't want to be selfish. But
Can I make a caveat to that?
a healthy person has to do that occasionally. Make your caveat.
Can I edit your wording there?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not selfish.
It
It's not selfish. It sounds selfish,
it sounds
but
selfish.
actually it's not. It sounds selfish, but it's not. Because you as a human being, your well-being comes before anything else.
Yeah.
And that sounds selfish, but it's not. It's for your own good. So if it's negatively affecting you, your well-being comes before that. So it is not selfish. And the way I think of selfish is something that's taken for granted that is not affecting you negatively at all. That's only affecting you positively. That's how I think selfish is. I think selfish is negatively affecting other people while benefiting yourself. That's what I think selfish is.
I could
That's
see
to
that.
me the definition of selfish.
I
Is
say
is the-
it's
is the-
selfish in the sense that you're putting yourself first, but that's
but
not
that's not selfish.
that's not a bad thing.
That's
And
self-preservation. That's not selfishness.
Yeah.
That's self-preservation.
no, you're right. And this is
There's a
this
fine
goes
line
back
between
to
the two.
the conversation I keep having with my therapist, where I keep saying, like, I keep trying to be
Dude,
there
you're
for
trying to justify it in the sense to where it sounds like, well, this is a bad thing. Where in reality, it's not a bad thing.
I've
Because there's a
I very
Sorry,
much
go
have had to grown into two things I've had to actively do this year that I've been working on. The first thing is suppressing my and this does not work for everyone. Do not do this. This is what works for me. Suppressing my self-conscious nature with overly arrogant ideals. And then
Damn right.
also trying to stop handing myself out and frankly be more selfish to myself. That it's selfish to me because I'm not throwing everything to anyone else except myself. That's not selfish, but it's selfish to me. Those two things, trying to actively do those things and failing actually is evened out myself. And I've had to very much find that balance. I don't want to be overly arrogant, obviously, and I don't want to be overly selfish, but I want enough of those things that I know my self-worth and I know how much time to devote to myself. The fact that I was able to put 50 hours in Baldur's Gate 3 was because I took enough time off from working and taking a vacation when the game came out so that I could do that.
one
I wouldn't
One
spend
thing
money
that-
on myself. I still have a hard time spending money on myself. Like, that's a really hard thing. The reason I collect VHSs is because they're really fucking cheap. They're really fucking cheap.
that's also not a bad thing. Although I know you, and we're not gonna play this game, or I'm gonna point out all your things. But I do
No,
know
go ahead.
that
It's fine.
that you as a person,
I'll write them down. I'll
I
take
feel
them to
like
my therapist.
I know you enough, Johnny. You as a person would spend more money on someone else versus yourself.
Oh, yeah, I absolutely
Hands
have.
down, right? Like, yeah, and that shouldn't be the case. You come first,
Do you
and
realize
you're learning from that.
how difficult it was for me? I've spent between the 3D printer that I just bought and Baldur's Gate 3, all in all, that was probably like $250. That's the most I've spent on myself and not putting it towards projects or putting it towards other people because they needed help or I knew or some other thing. And that's the first time I've probably done that probably since I was in high school.
Yeah.
Probably since I first got a job and started like spending my money on myself.
I know you, and I wholeheartedly believe that. And I'm so glad that you're working on it, and that's the biggest thing is we're working on ourselves.
And the biggest
For me,
here's the thing: I had to actively start a ledger. Do you realize how
Yeah.
insane that is? That I had to get
Yeah.
a ledger down for people who owed me money. Like,
believe that.
That's insane. I realize.
I'm on that ledger.
Yeah, but for like a really stupid reason.
I'm on the ledger for a legitimate reason. I feel like
I bought something from you that you want. You're there because I wanted to lease something off of you, basically.
yeah,
And you need.
that's true. You did buy things off of me. It wasn't like I asked you for money, you gave me money, and that's it. There was a transaction that took place.
Yeah, you threw up some lights as a collateral, is what you did.
And, lights and camera equipment and audio equipment. I give you a $500 microphone.
Yeah, you did. Which, by the way, has been on my piano and has not moved. I have not used that thing. I have not used that thing because in my brain it's like it's not mine, it's Matt's. Like it's just his shit's here. Like
yeah,
like I don't know how I'm gonna get that shit back to you because I'm not doing that fucking drive again.
No, we'll figure it out. I'm not really too worried about it right now. As you can tell, my microphone sounds amazing.
Your ass can go
once you get the money back, we'll figure that shit out.
Well,
that's my thinking.
You can fucking go up the coastline and come get this shit.
Here is my side of that too, because Johnny kind of gave his, like, I'm gonna give a little bit about myself, and I'm hoping that me talking about myself, people who are struggling through this issue can relate. My biggest issue, and I did not realize this until I started talking about someone this, because I realized my ex did the same thing. A lot of the times, for me, the reason why I struggle with relationships is I struggle with self-esteem. I have really low self-esteem. And I used to think I had really high self-esteem because I used to look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, oh, well, look at that handsome man. But in reality is I didn't see it that way. Because what's not natural is nitpick every single thing you see wrong about yourself and think that you're an ugly human being. And that's how I generally saw myself for the longest time. And I still struggle very much with self-esteem. Like, I understand that I like the way I look, but the difference for me, and this separates me from like other people, not other people, this is a difference for me. I generally think, and I struggle with this with people, I generally think that that other people, Rick, hang on, we're doing a podcast, kid.
We're podcasting.
I generally think
look at the
other
channel.
people.
Okay.
I generally think other people that struggle through something similar is like, for me, my low self-esteem comes from the fact that not the way I like what I look, but the way I think other people don't like the way I look.
Mm-hmm.
I generally think other people don't see me the way I see myself. And I feel like when I see myself that way, I feel like I'm being an egotistical asshole. And I convinced myself so much that I don't look the way I think I look.
And it's okay to be like,
I still struggle with that because I'm so afraid of the opposite happening where I'm like an egotistical asshole. Do I put myself so low to where I think I'm the ugliest human being in the world? If that makes any sense.
And it doesn't, I've noticed, as your friend, I've noticed, like, it doesn't matter how much we bring up the fact that you're a literal fucking stud. And this happens, I know, with a lot of my friends that have, like, body dysmorphia issues. It doesn't matter how much you say to them how good looking they are, how like awesome they are, or anything like that. It really just comes down to a self-acceptance thing, and
that's all it is.
No one can do that except for you. Like,
that's what I wanted to say. Oh my God. I finally figured out what I wanted to say when we originally talked about it. And like, oh yeah. So again, coming from a therapist, there's a line I've heard once before, and I didn't really like think about it until I was told to do this. you can never love someone else until you first understand that you need to love yourself.
Absolutely.
And that was my struggle. I, to this day, struggle with self-hatred. And a lot of it has to do with my OCD, and we're not going to go full into that. But
Lexapro, man, I'm telling
low
you, it's
self-esteem
fantastic.
and self-hatred. I'm learning to love myself, and that's the biggest thing. If you do not like yourself, you think you have all these dark thoughts in your head, and you don't like yourself. Putting a relationship on that is not going to fix that issue.
Oh yeah, and to jump
It's
off
actually
that
gonna make
on
it
that for a
worse.
second, you realize how long it took me to learn that intrusive thoughts are not your own?
Yeah,
Yeah, like literally, and shaming yourself for intrusive thoughts, like that's not
yeah.
no, like that's not you. You know,
Everybody, yeah.
your brain is just like sending off electrical signals, and just because two of them arc together doesn't mean that you're a bad person.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yo, by the way, everybody who is going through that right now, those dark thoughts you have, everybody has them. They're not your thoughts.
I think
It's literally your brain chemistry working.
there's a great Bill Burr bit about him talking about diving headfirst into traffic that like plays off of
Yeah,
this.
he was like, he was like driving like through. He's like, you know how easy it would be for me to just turn my
Just
wheel and just dive into traffic and kill him.
I'm not gonna lie,
me
I'm
to
at a
hold
point
in
in
on
my
that.
life where I love myself a good bit. I still have that thought anytime I'm on the sidewalk.
Everybody's gonna have that thought. Like everybody has intrusive dark thoughts. That doesn't mean you're a horrible person.
Yeah, it doesn't mean
If you think that's okay, that's a different story. Fun fact about yourself.
there's a
If you
difference
feel
between
guilt
thinking
for
it and
what you're thinking-
considering it.
Yeah, there's if you feel guilt for what you're thinking, you're okay. If you don't feel guilt for what you're thinking, then there's an
That's
issue.
the problem. Then, you know.
Yeah, there's a problem there.
And there's no shame, I feel like, in admitting to yourself that you might be the problem in certain things.
No. Yeah, absolutely. I cannot tell you how many times I've, and not just relationships, but in general, how many times I thought like, I was the problem there.
Yeah, that's definitely the issue.
That
Yeah.
was definitely
I've
the
had
issue.
that too. I've had that too. And I'm very lucky. I'm very lucky that I've dated so few people, and that they were all much more
Mature.
mature than me, and were able to understand that whether I broke up with them or they broke up with me, that it was something where it was not going to work out where we were, you know. And that's that's fine. It's not a failure either. You know,
No.
it's not a mistake, because you did spend quality time with another person, and that's fine.
And it's not just relationships, just in general, like understanding that you were a problem in
Oh
this
yeah,
situation.
this isn't just like a romantic thing. This happens in friendships all the time too. where
Yeah.
I'm like,
like I feel like if you learn from it, if feel like if you're that shows the maturity and the level of growth you have as a person.
Mhm.
If you're willing to understand that you were at fault, that this was your issue,
Yeah.
because a lot of people who are
But-
quote unquote stubborn, what in reality what they are is they're just refusing to learn from their mistakes, and they can't learn from their mistakes.
But I will add a caveat to this. You have to be able to act on the fact that you knew you were the problem. You have to go.
Yes,
You have to be willing to change. You know,
it can't happen again.
I've
It can't
I've
be. Yeah,
I've structured my life around storytelling so much, whether it's D&D, writing, plays, movies, whatever I'm working on at the moment. Even these podcasts. I mean, we've gone through a whole full fucking hero's journey. Remember like 20 minutes ago when we were talking about dick extensions? And now
That is true.
now we're sitting
Yeah,
here
that shit
like,
was awesome.
now we're talking about philosophers and shit. Like,
Yeah, that
fuck-
shit wasn't awesome.
I
this
mean,
podcast has this. I feel like this is gonna be our most like craziest to listen to podcast. This is the most ADHD podcast ever, because we went on like
this
five
is the
different things.
this is the definition of we're on Discord at 10 p.m. at night.
100%.
Like, that's what it is. That's legit what it is.
name.
Discord at 10 p.m. at night.
Discord at 10 p.m.
Discord at midnight, baby.
No, Internet Down stays forever.
Internet Down.
It's a great name. I love it so much.
Forever.
I told my friends about our podcast name, and all my friends said the same. Every time I told someone about this, like, how's that not been taken? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm taking it.
I don't know. One day the internet was down, and we were like, "Oh, internet down, great name."
It's just such a good. It fits the podcast. I love it so much. I don't think it's ever going to change.
Mark, do you want to share all your existential thoughts and feelings?
Not really. I don't really have any.
Okay.
Mark's a perfect human being. He doesn't.
It's
have
not that I'm a
any.
perfect human being. It's that I've
I know,
dealt
I'm
with all
just
this
messing
shit
with
for
you.
years. So
Also-
I'm already good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I
He
mean, to
doesn't
your
need to
like,
air it out. Yeah.
there's nothing to air out. It's like I don't know. I mean, like when I was younger, I was shitty and I didn't like understand myself well enough. But like I'm at a
like
point
that's
in my
everyone,
life where
though.
like
We're all idiots.
yeah, when I say younger, I mean like when I was like 19 or like 20 or something.
Yeah, that's
Like
that's a child.
like I was like, I mean, like I don't know. I've learned and grown as a person, and I understand like what's me, what's not. I understand like how to deal with my shit. I understand like when I'm not feeling too hot, I know what to do and like how to help myself, and like I know what works for me and what doesn't. I've never really seen a therapist, but like I don't know. Everybody has their own way of dealing with shit. Mine is just doing my own thing.
Oh, and by the way, even if you think you're healthy and well off, try going to therapy once or twice, just to see,
Nah,
to
just
see.
get pills,
Agreed.
bro. Just get pills. Pills are awesome.
No, don't.
That's
no,
a psychiatrist.
No,
Those are different.
I love it.
Bad advice.
I fucking love it. I love it so much. You know, there's so many things that like are actual like physical symptoms that I never thought like that I thought everybody else like. Apparently, waking up like and just not being able to stay awake is actually like a physical symptom of depression.
Yeah,
I did not know that. I didn't know that. I always thought that everybody just had that. I was like, yeah.
No,
Sometimes it's just hard for me to wake up. And
That's the
even when I wake, I
core
didn't know
thing
that.
with depression. Yeah.
I
Speaking
didn't
of
know that.
you guys.
Also, fun fact about depression: it's not always just sad. It's actually imbalanced. Sometimes you'll feel really, really happy, and then all the times you'll feel really, really
Yeah,
sad.
it's a
Mhm.
chemical
That's
imbalance in your
depression.
brain.
It's chemical. It's chemical
That's a
imbalance
mental
going in your
illness
brain.
just in general.
That's a mental illness. Well, yes, but like depression in general, that's usually what happens.
You guys want to
So-
hear a little bit of TMI to bring the mood up before we end this?
I was gonna say we're getting.
I mean,
really
I
close
guess
to
this
that mark.
whole thing was TMI. I don't know. what
No,
you're
I
talking
mean
about.
like this is weird TMI. The freaking antidepressants I'm on have
Did it make you poop weird?
no. I'm gonna bring up some uncomfortable stuff for
I
people.
just thought that would be funny.
I am a person with a very, very, very low libido.
Yo, really?
Oh, is it doing the opposite now?
Oh,
What?
need that.
What are you saying?
nothing.
How is that
nothing.
for
Keep
you,
Going, keep going.
Johnny? Can
Just
I
keep
ask you?
going,
Like,
just keep
I know
going.
it's kind of it's kind of weird and very personal. I don't know how comfortable to talk about in the podcast. How is that for you?
I have been called one of those things in relationships that I've learned from since is that it is not a need that I necessarily
Ha-
present a lot.
Okay.
But you
And
still have it.
people talk
But you still have it.
people
Damn.
talk to me as if or people have talked to me where that makes them feel unwanted or that makes them feel like they're not enough.
Like you're not attracted to them.
Yeah. And what I've
Yeah.
had to go through and what I've learned with people is that no, I'm not trying to be distant. I'm not trying to do anything like that. This is just something for me that is different than other people.
You can't show. You can't show it.
So
Even though you feel it, you can't show it.
dear, okay, parents, mom, you don't listen to this.
He be fucking.
I genuinely have a hard time finishing with people. It's
Okay.
there are times where I just don't.
Oh,
Um,
that's not as fun as what I thought.
and so that fucks with people's heads, especially women.
Yeah,
Yes.
it does.
and
Can
I had that for
agree.
a time.
where
Yeah, I've also had issues where I couldn't
and they
perform to finish.
they take that as an insult almost sometimes, or they take
Yeah, like you're not
it's
like they're not hot enough.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I've had to
reality
be,
is it's all you.
and for a long time I didn't know how to communicate that. But now that I do, I just have to be like, no, 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 no. I have to.
Can I ask?
It's about reassurance. Ask whatever you want, and I'll tell Mark to cut it out if we have to cut it out.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Have you tried both with both before?
No, I am not.
Have you tried putting it in your butt?
No, and genuine question. You've not tried both before.
No.
Do you think maybe that you might not realize that you swing one way over the other?
No, because I don't show that kind of attraction. A lot of my attraction based
Have you tried
stuff
putting a finger in your butt?
is
You know the male
emotionally
G spot is
based.
in your asshole, right?
And I don't. I have a hard
that's a fact,
time.
man. I'm
we
just
can't
saying.
have serious conversations in the
I'm just saying.
I have a hard time
I'm
making that
serious.
connection with that emotional connection with people of the same sex. So I don't think I could
Okay.
be. I don't think I could be that vulnerable with somebody.
Oh, no, I'm talking about emotional attraction though.
You see, the problem
Yeah,
for
have you
me
ever
is
tried to fuck a dude before?
what's with
That's
a
what he's trying to
libido
get
like
at.
mine. What's the point? You know. But the reason I was
guess
getting into
considering
TMI.
to what you're saying for you, that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
The reason I brought this all up was I was gonna say TMI. My antidepressants have jacked that up a little bit,
Hell yeah.
and I'm just
Hell
like,
yeah.
this is weird. It's like going through puberty again.
Hell yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Bro, I'd be jacking
I have
off
found
today, man.
out. Speaking of, okay, we're gonna go
I jack,
TMI.
like,
Go TMI. We're in
Mom and Dad,
TMI. We're in
3-4
Don't
TMI.
listen
times
to
a
this.
day. It's fucking
Seriously.
awesome.
I can hear you now.
Okay, everyone's
Everyone's
back
back,
now.
everyone's
We're all
back.
back. What were you saying,
But
Mark? Matt?
Mark, I know you're doing it on purpose. You're doing it too fast.
Oh, I was
Turn on your
talking
camera,
about
motherfucker.
all the time. Oh yeah. I was talking about all the times
Um,
I jerk it. I jerk off all the time. I've always had a high libido. I don't know why. It's
I was
awesome.
gonna say I have a very high libido and a
It's
very
awesome.
And here's the thing, I don't.
I classify. But I'm willing to admit this. I thought I had addictions to alcohol, which I do.
Oh, I was.
Turns out-
This guy.
I was about to
Turns
say.
out Johnny's not gonna be surprised with this. Turns out I also have a sex addiction.
Oh, you know who's been
What?
telling you that for like a
No
year?
way.
You know
Yeah,
who?
but no. See, okay, but you can't say like, "Oh man, I'm right," because you say that about every single person. You say that about everybody. Like
No.
like a clock strikes right twice a day. Like it doesn't
For
apply in this instance.
A clock
Right?
strikes right
it's
twice
the
a day.
high you feel when you do it, and like it. I didn't realize I was addicted to that. Also, fun fact about my other relationship, kind of the struggle between our relationship. The reason why I stayed with that person so long was for that exact reason,
Mhm.
and I
Hell
didn't understand that was the reason
Oh,
until I went to therapy for it, and I'm like, oh my god, that's the reason.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, therapy just makes all your life problems sound trivial and easy to
Nah, bro.
accomplish.
I'm telling
It's
you,
a healthy.
do
It's
drugs.
therapy
Like the
has
good kind
such
of
a
drugs, like the drugs
negative
that you're supposed to
connotation to it. Negative therapy has such a negative
Listen, I'm
connotation
so
to it.
proud of younger generations that have gotten rid of that stigma. though.
Yes, me too. For people in my generation, right, in our generation, because we're all the same generation, except for Johnny. Johnny's younger than us. For me and people,
By,
for
like,
people
2
in me and
years,
Mark's
bro.
generation,
Like, why do you act
Um,
like you're so much older than you are? I don't understand it. Like
Because
you're
anyway,
27, I'm 25. He's like 22. It's not that. It's
Anyway,
not that
for
much of a
people-
difference.
It's
For
because
people in
Matt
an
stormed the
older
beaches of
generation.
Normandy.
For people in older generations, there's such a stigma with negative stigma with therapy. When if you get therapy, that means you have a really severe issue going on in your head and you're mentally unwell. That's not the truth. Therapy is a healthy way to A, talk about your problems, and B, to learn that there's a solution to these problems that you're dealing with every day, and there's problems that you don't understand. There's problems that you don't know exist. That's the biggest problem. I keep saying problem. That's the biggest struggle everybody deals with, right? There's problems in your life that you don't realize are actual problems. That is the biggest benefit with therapy, because there are things you don't realize that are there. And those things are what's actually negatively affecting your life, not the things you think they might be.
I feel like we've had a good podcast.
We did. I feel like that's a good end to the podcast.
I guess.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. It's been a very interesting podcast. I'm so glad to be back. I love that
I just like jerking it.
when we take between podcasts, we take months between podcasts. That's our seasons. Welcome
Listen,
to season 3.
We have life.
I'm very
The show
excited.
happens when it happens. Like, who cares?
That's true.
It's mainly you.
I'm very excited.
Listen, I could record this every single day if I wanted to. All right. I don't want the blame shifted towards me in any single way. I was ready to record 20 minutes before both of you.
Motherfucker,
Like
you were
I'm
the last
always
to join
ready.
the call,
I am
motherfucker.
always on point.
You were the
What?
last to join the call, motherfucker.
Yeah, and I was the first to be ready to record. So and who got us together? Who got us together?
That's your responsibility.
It's not my responsibility. It's my responsibility to
That's
edit.
my
I don't have to do anything else
responsibility.
outside of that. My only responsibility for this podcast is to edit it.
I'm the host. That's my responsibility.
Yeah.
I'm the host.
Listen, we could record this every single day and I'd be ready, all right?
Just play the
All
Looney
right,
Tunes
on
outro.
that note, thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast.
That's all, folks.
I'm very excited for season 3. We got a lot of good stuff coming up. Be excited for new changes in the podcast, new formats that we're trying out. I love you
I like to
guys.
jerk it.
Mark likes to jerk it.